I was looking at this. Gavin Newsom's career is, well, apparently fucking over. Well, look, you could argue, is that projection? You see so many videos where, they come out with titles that are like, oh, well. But it never generally happens, does it? But, and I'm deliberately playing this, avoiding, like, I'm a subscriber of the individual, but then there is an awful lot that I would disagree is the reasons behind what you see. So I look at this as like first viewing, but I saw a few seconds of this and already I'm thinking, look, this guy is well and truly handled. You look at his body language, his eyes. And maybe actually, at some stage, he actually had some values that, he was associated with something that actually was going to be generally better. And I see this because when I look at the body language, even in the first few seconds, you realize over time, even if there was a chance he felt like that, he got comfortable with the reality. Yeah. Would that be fair? And with that in mind, let me, stopping occasionally for comment, keep in mind this is 2014, let me play you this.
Promoting a third of the money coming from the private sector, 25 to 33% from the federal government. I was out there promoting the fact that this would generate revenue and not cost taxpayers subsidies.
I mean, I'm looking at the body language, and who's he talking to? And he's left, and he's right, and he's almost possessed, isn't it? It's like Mr. Morden out of Babylon 5, and he's surrounded by, the shadows. Honestly, I look at this and, yeah.
See, I was out there promoting it, and none of those things now are taking shape. It's a $68+ billion.
There's a guy that can't look anybody straight ahead. You see where I'm going here.
A project they just announced 2 months ago went up another.
I mean, it's the eyes, isn't it, and the body language. It really is.
And just for this new 130-mile first phase, it started with 33 billion. It went to 96. We value engineered it, so it's no longer "quote unquote" high-speed rail.
So you see where I'm going here, and he's also talking essentially about Agenda 21. No two doubts about it. He's also talking essentially about the rollout of Agenda 21.
It's higher speed rail. We wildly overstated the ridership projections. We manipulated some of the revenue projections. There's only one true high-speed rail system in the world that generates real profit.
I mean, even like I look at the body language. Back then there was still some conscience in this guy, some morals possibly. And I know. I mean, look, this is a guy already transformationally changing into, I can deal with that. I'm fine with it. I see reality, and I'm living with, I've sold my soul. This is that transitional period. Would that be fair?
But I thought there were two, and I remember when President of France was here a few months ago, I complimented him on being one of the two, and he laughed, and his ministers laughed. I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, don't believe what you read about us generating profits on our high-speed rail. The only one is Osaka that generates, and that's a different kind of concentration, urban concentration. So this is going to be a subsidy. The bonds you double the cost of the bonds is the actual cost. The taxpayers are repaying them. I mean, it's a burden, politically speaking. Candidly, I was there with Schwarzenegger and Tony Blair on the screen. I'll never forget it. Governor Pataki from New York State, all celebrating.
Wow, I'm being unkind to this guy because, I mean, at least Mr. Morden in Babylon 5, he was well and truly comfortable with where he was. This is a guy before then, but turns into Mr. Morden. Would that be fair? Yeah.
Celebrating cap and trade, not one person ever when we advanced. I was talking about money going to high-speed. We're talking about energy efficiency programs. We're talking about retrofitting buildings. I was vocally concerned with my legislative colleagues up there about taking the cap and trade money.
There is a haunted guy, isn't it? It's a haunted guy looking around him, and nothing makes a lot of sense for him.
When you set out a 5-year capital plan, as the governor did, Vernon actually read, which showed $56.7 billion of capital expenditures, 25.6 going just for the high-speed rail, getting close to half that money, not for the deferred maintenance needs, not for local transit projects up and down the state, not for real jobs, real that are desperately needed. Analysis would conclude that there's no private sector money and there's no capacity for this to be built. But that said, if that were the process, you would kill the project. Of course, as you break with the tribe, there's consequences. I doubt very much, even the most optimistic.
That's quite a statement there as well.
Assessments of the next decade, the facts seem overwhelming that this project is not going to materialize in our lifetime.
It's very interesting, and I think it speaks to a larger phenomenon.
I'm trying to avoid whatever this guy's saying, but just that alone, and all I need to say beyond that is, I'll leave you a link to this. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the guy, although I do find what he says is behind it. I have a lot of, I just think at the very least it's naive, but yeah. That was a very different Gavin Newsom, but obviously over time, and you look at, this is a guy that over time has got comfortable since then in what he has been implementing as a puppet. There is no argument there. There is no argument. That, though, is a very different Gavin Newsom than what I see now. And is it this part of we're going to give you options here. And believe me, obviously he realized, and they obviously knew that, at some stage, with the right word said, he's going to be up for this. I think there's an awful lot more to this guy in the sense that, dare I say it? I've watched him lately, and I think at the very least he's bisexual. Yeah, I'm not down crying that. My point is, it's all part of that. Blackmailable, holding over others. This is when he, previous to, oh my God, this scary, and he's got over that since then. He really has. This is, and believe me, they must have picked him because they knew he was morally bankrupt to start with. But there was obviously a naivety in him before that over time he's got comfortable with and just got with the program. I know I could do, as always, a better job. I struggle with this pish with the fucking hood and But anyway, your thoughts, and I'll speak to you soon.